The second set is being played on Whirlwind. Spawning in the bottom right-hand position, the Samsung Zerg, one of their ace players. His name is rOrO.
His opponent has 1 kill, going for the second one. Playing for WOONGJIN Stars as Red Zerg on the left bottom corner of the map. His name is ZvZ.
Indeed, so haven't seen a lot of ZvZ on Whirlwind recently. We've been seeing a lot of ZvT though, that's for sure.
Well, we didn't see that many Zergs being sent out overall in Winners League this season, so that's why we see some Zergs playing here and there, but we never get to see that much ZvZ in particular.
Yeah, I have noticed that, especially since it's the Winners League format now. But it looks like both players are saying, all right, or both teams are saying, all right, I'm fine with the Zerg being first. And Samsung, their strategy is, send out one of their best Zergs on these next few maps here, maybe rack up a few wins. There's going to be no map disadvantages for them at all here, and if they can take out Zero, that's one of their core players here, and that's going to only leave 3 other excellent players for rOrO to deal with.
It's like 1 core player down, we have 3 more to go.
It's like
so you take down, it's like back in Bird War, oh my god, I took out Flash, now I have to get through Jaedong, Bisu, and Stork.
Exactly, that's what it's like for when you have to play against WOONGJIN Stars in Pro League this season, because it's just great player after great player. It never stops for them. If there was a best of 9, WOONGJIN Stars would be even stronger.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, rOrO, yes, he is out of the individual leagues after winning the GSO last season, but in round of 8, once he dropped out, he needed to play some matches against the fellow players who dropped out round of 8 because of the points. And he did take the 5th place in those games, especially winning 3-1 against Harding.
Yeah,
so he was best out of all the players who dropped out of round of 8.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, rOrO, he got unlucky like a few other people. He had to play Innovation.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, Innovation was like that guy that you can't beat.
What's also funny is that Innovation's TBC has been so solid, especially this season, so rOrO was just unlucky, but hey, that's how individual tournaments work.
Yep.
Yes, you have to be the best player, but sometimes the luck is there.
There's always a little bit of luck involved as far as who you have to play against in the bracket system, because you know what? You could be the best player there, but have a little bit of a weakness against one player, and if you get grouped up against that one player early on, guess what? You're not going to win.
Yeah, and sometimes in a tournament you get pretty much have the 2 best players facing each other in like round of 16 or round of 8.
Yeah, we had a lot of that already.
Yeah.
And notably, Rain getting knocked out.
Rain getting knocked out, and Harding, Life, Innovation, and Flash all being in the same group.
If you think about it, like, that's actually just awesome, because we're getting so many good players now with all the Kespa guys joining for the joining into StarCraft2, and it's just raising the level of play.
It does raise the level of play, but in a particular group like that, you know, there's pluses and downsides. Pluses because you know who's going to go into the finals easily, depending on who makes it out of that particular group. But downside is that, you know, a lot of these fans want to see every single player do well. Yeah. And, you know, when we went to the community forums, as soon as the Group B started, we were like, oh my god, we got 4 amazing players. That should be round of 4 roster, and 2 of them has to go home today? Whoa.
It's kind of crazy how things to end up being, you know, when you have such a stacked group early on. And taking a look at the game here, looks like both players have opened up pretty similarly here. Almost everything's still mirrored at this point. They're getting their speed, Baneling, Nestor on the same time. Both of them even making 8 Zerglings as well. We do have a Spawn Crawler going down here for rOrO.
Yeah, rOrO exactly knows what his opponent is up to after scouting the Baneling. His opponent Zero, not so much, but he should have a pretty good idea on what is happening.
Alright, both players just got their speed. We have a few Banelings here being morphed in for our WOONGJIN Stars player, but there's going to be this Spine here that easily deal with that.
Now, rOrO should also make few Banelings for himself just defensively, because now Zero's the one who's going to put on the aggression, and rOrO's going to be the one sitting back at home, trying to defend against this attack.
All right, the Zerglings moving in here now, trying to distract those Banelings from being hit by that Spine Crawler. One does get destroyed here, and this other one is going to try to do some damage. Nice hit there, and it's going to allow those Zerglings to, you know, pick off a few drones here and there, but Only 2.
Yeah, ZvZ was actually a little bit overeager. The bailing hit was really nice in the middle of all the drones, but the Zerglings trying to finish it off, and that's when rOrO's bailing actually hit most of the Zerglings, so that's the reason ZvZ only got a 2 kill.
Yeah. Well, we have a spawn crawler now going down for ZvZ, and we're just seeing, like, still both players are playing almost exactly the same here. The layer timings are so close, the extractor timings very similar. We do have 2 banelings over here from rOrO moving across the map, trying to be a little sneaky here, but good overlord positioning by ZvZ. He's got his entire side of the map pretty much covered as far as all the choke points go.
He just wants to poke up and see what his opponent is doing. A nice big bailing detonation, but does he actually sneak in a circling inside the main base? Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. He's going to see everything here, and that's actually pretty cool because he knows, all right, my opponent's getting a layer. He's continuing mining the gas from both geysers here. You know, everything looking pretty normal. We do have a bit of an advantage for rOrO here. He does have more drones, but look at this. Both players going for the Spire tech. We're having the 3rd base being created from our WOONGJIN Stars player ZvZ here.
Now rOrO just made 20 Zerglings to defend against what ZvZ has, but he still needs to be careful because the bailing tech is available for both of these players. One miss micro, and the Zerglings can go inside the main base, wreak havoc.
Exactly, certainly can. We need to see our Zerg player here, rOrO, discover the 3rd base of his opponent. And I think that's what he's about to do here, sending some Zerglings over there.
He is going to see it.
Absolutely, going to see that and going to force ZvZ to do a little bit of defense here against that. He's got the Baneling, so he should be okay.
Yeah, so he doesn't have enough Zerglings to actually cancel, but at least he knows that he is slightly behind when it comes to the economy. Right away, he throws down a 3rd hatchery near his main base.
Yep, the problem for rOrO here is that his 3rd base is behind, and if ZvZ can actually get that delayed or canceled, then in the Mutawar, things are going to just spiral out of control, and he's going to get too far behind.
That's why he's sending all the Zerglings over there. He has a few Bailings defending against it. ZvZ needs to make sure he doesn't play with too much fire, and nice bailing detonation, but also realizes that he has less Zerglings than his opponent. Now behind this, both players are making mutas, but you know, it's 9 to 8. It's going to be pretty similar because the gas count is same for both of these players right now.
And we have a Zergling engagement here, looking pretty even trade-wise between both players. rOrO with a few more Zerglings, that's going to allow him to kill off that Queen there, and very close. Almost got those Lings detonated by those Banelings. But overall, the harassment has been pretty solid from rOrO here. He's been doing a good job, and now he spots the Muta timing as well. And both players are getting their +1 carapace, continuing the Muta production. We're going to have to see how they try to defend against each other here.
Yeah, well, he killed 2 drones just like his opponent did earlier on, and now he exactly knows what his opponent is up to, even without scouting inside the main base once again.
All right, the Mutas may clash here in the middle of the map. All right, the Mutas are spotted now. It's a pretty even number for both. Looks like there are a few more for rOrO, though.
But rOrO still needs to group his Mutas up, and look at this. ZvZ, he's going to try to go for attack at the 3rd base, but it doesn't work out as rOrO has his Mutas over there. But he also needs to be careful because now ZvZ, he's just trying to draw out the Mutas to the left side of the map so that the Zerglings can kill the drones at the 3rd base.
And that's exactly what he's doing here. We're seeing a lot of excellent harassment from ZvZ, and rOrO, he doesn't really have an answer for this. He's bringing some units over now. He'll be able to eventually defend against this, but he's starting to fall behind here.
The damage has been done. Up to 7 drones have been killed so far.
Yep, and the supplies are now 118 to 101 in the favor of ZvZ. Looking pretty good. Also, rOrO is supply blocked.
rOrO is supply blocked. He hasn't been mining from 6 gases as compared to ZvZ, so he's going to be falling behind in the Muta count pretty shortly. In fact, there's up to 16 Mutas out for ZvZ and 18 for rOrO, but the Muta count just flipped around right now with 21 to 18.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see it flip back and forth occasionally here. We have a little bit of a Zergling run by from rOrO here. The drones being pulled off the mineral line to defend, and the Queen's like, all right, I got this, guys. Just go back to your jobs. And the Zerglings will eventually fall here. The Queen going to get pretty low on health.
The question is, does he actually have it? Did he actually get those Zerglings, or did the Queen get taken out?
Well, we didn't get a shot to look. I think it was pretty close. Looks
pretty
like
close.
The Queen just barely survived there. The Spine Crawler is up now, though, so it's going to be a lot easier to defend that 3rd. More Zergling run-bys coming over here, and they're going to pretty much snipe off that Queen if he focus fires, but he's trying to go for some economic damage there. The Muta counts now pretty similar for both players. We do have rOrO ahead, though, which is actually surprising considering he was behind not too far long ago.
Well, if you look at the drone count, you could see that ZvZ has more drones than his opponent. This means that ZvZ, once he took out some drones at the third base, he decided that he could skip some mutas to get his own drones out.
Yep.
To gain some economic advantage a little bit later into the game, but that also allows rOrO to get some muta advantage because he's been squeezing out units left and right. But look at this, faking out once again. Zerglings waiting at the 3 o'clock position.
There are a few banelings over here. They're, I think, up to 4 or 5 at the third base to deal with any type of Zergling run-bys. The drone kill count even right now. We do have ZvZ still in the supply lead by a pretty decent amount, about 10 to 15. And it's still, I think it's going to come down to that big muta battle, and there's going to be an engagement that needs to be forced for that to happen.
Yeah, one of these players are going to force it. ZvZ slightly out of position, and is he going to go for it? Seems like rOrO's going to try to engage into it.
Oh, we're going to have that battle.
But both players right now are just playing with fire. They actually do not want to engage into it unless they know they are going to win it outright.
I like what ZvZ's doing here. He's already getting his 4th base, and I noticed he was making a few spore crawlers as well. So that's going to help buffer a little bit for the defense.
And that's actually fantastic because once you lose the muta voice, the mutas are going to be in your main base and the natural, but it's going to take, it's going to be hard for, well, hold on a second.
Very close, almost got one of those mutas sniped off there.
Going back to what I was saying, it's going to be easier for ZvZ to come back into the game if he has his
Oh, here we go. This is going to be the big muta battle of this game. It could determine everything. The muta count right now, the +2 armor just finishing up here now for ZvZ, and that's going to give him a bit of an edge in this battle here, but the muta count still very high for both players. It's now 20 to 20. Mutas are almost completely even here, but rOrO deciding to back off now, knowing that he doesn't have an upgrade advantage anymore, but ZvZ's unit's a little bit out of position there. We're having a Zergling skirmish over here, and we see a lot of rOrO's units moving into ZvZ's third base and main.
Uh-oh, these Zerglings are going to wreak havoc because, you know, ZvZ, yes, winning the muta war is important, but he's just doing a lot of damage with the Zerglings.
And we see that ZvZ, his multitasking has been a little bit taxed here because he is floating a lot more resources than his opponent.
Yeah, he was just saving up the minerals for some extra units later on, but I guess he just didn't expect those Zerglings to get inside the third and the main at the same time. That's why you need some banelings at multiple locations throughout the map, especially in mid to late game ZvZ universe.
Making a hatchery up in the top left-hand of the map. And a 4th base now going down for rOrO as well at the 6 o'clock.
Yeah, look at this mutas. They're going to try to go to the natural, going to try to draw out the mutas over there while the Zerglings attack from a different angle.
These mutas could do a lot of potential damage here, killing off a good amount of drones
but
as well.
He is slightly trapped inside the main base of ZvZ.
All right, looks like we're going to have a potential forced muta engagement here. We're going to have ZvZ get the better engagement there. And it's now 153 to 153. Still very close between these players. Are we going to see, okay, we're going to have ZvZ trying to do some damage here. Is he going to commit, though, and try to kill off this hatchery?
He knows that he has more mutas than his opponent, but he's just trying to micro as much as possible because he doesn't know how much mutas his opponent exactly has. So that's the reason why he wants to commit, but he cannot overcommit. One miss micro, and both players can lose the game.
rOrO's been doing an excellent job at constantly harassing his opponent's economy throughout the game here, and this hatchery going to be denied. Will it get canceled? Guess gets canceled at the last second there. Muta count 35 to 30 with ZvZ in the lead. Still pretty close though, and we're not seeing a commitment from ZvZ as well.
Yeah, actually 1 or 2 spore callers at this hatchery, and he could try to defend against some of the mutas that ZvZ actually has right now. You know, the 6 count, you could just use the spore, but he's fighting slightly outside of the range.
Yeah, he has to worry about that spore crawler there. The Zerglings are going to eventually pick that off. Muta count now very, very close between each player here.
This is not looking good for rOrO.
It's still, 19, 18 now. The 24, ZvZ taking a pretty solid edge here. If he can prevent his opponent from getting that expansion, then he's just going to start falling behind in the economic game. rOrO now down to 3 bases. We do have the 4th completed for our WOONGJIN Stars player ZvZ.
Well, it's not over for rOrO just yet because, yes, ZvZ does have the 4th base, but he's not mining from it just yet.
Yeah, he is not mining from it. That's
no
true.
gas, no minerals being mined. In fact, there's 3 drones over there, which has been unrallied. So ZvZ just focusing on the muta and the Zergling micro right now. There we go.
All right, so going ahead and making that expansion. The Zerglings over here, will they discover that base in the top left? Because this is actually kind of sneaky. if you think about it, we don't see Zerg players do this too often in ZvZ, go for like hidden bases around the map where their opponents wouldn't expect them.
And it's especially hard to defend against those type of expansions because those are so far away, which means that once the Zerglings get over there, it's going to be a long time before your reinforcements arrive to defend against defend your base. And rOrO, if I remember correctly, I don't think he continued his upgrades after +2 carapace because right now, ZvZ, he's going for the +2 attack.
Oh, the banlings moving into the natural here. Looks like they're going to be able to kill off a good amount of drones there. Well, once again, good continued harassment from rOrO. But the problem is the supplies right now, 172 to 139. ZvZ taking a very big lead as far as the economic game goes.
Economic game and the upgrades at the same time. Pretty much that forces rOrO to stay inside this main base with the Mutas, but he's been doing a fantastic job with the Zerglings all around the map.
He's been doing a great job with those, just constantly sending them around everywhere possible. Few Zerglings go into the main base of rOrO, and nice, more continued harassment from rOrO though. He's constantly attacking this natural or third base here, and it's just gotta be so annoying to deal with that.
So yes, there is a base on the left top. Yes, ZvZ is mining more gas, but rOrO is doing a fantastic job just trying to buy a little bit more time against his opponent.
All right, now the big Muta battle going on here. The Muta count, though, way in the advantage of our red Zerg here, ZvZ, and that's going to force his opponent away. rOrO, things are not looking great for him, man.
The queens are there, but is that going to be enough? The upgrades are same between these two players. But with ZvZ's Mutas arriving, all he has to do is micro a little bit more, and he's going to win the engagement easily.
Yeah, it's now down to 11 Mutas to 27. It looks like our WOONGJIN Stars player ZvZ is going to be able to take this game here. Not over just yet, but I feel like the hourglass is running low for rOrO.
It's the beginning of the end for rOrO at this point, as the Zerglings are just tearing apart all the spore crawlers inside the natural, and the Mutas killing off rOrO's Mutas.
So Samsung Khan, they wanted to send out their best Zerg, GG, in order to deal with ZvZ, but ZvZ looking very good, man. He's looking solid.
Like you said, we haven't seen him in a long time. We don't know what kind of condition he is in.
Well, we do now.
We do now.
He's in good condition, guys.
Especially in ZvZ.
Especially ZvZ.
12-4, including the 2 matches that he just played against Samsung Khan in ZvZ.
So this is actually really bad for Khan. They just lost their ace player in match 2 against ZvZ, the guy who we know is good, but we haven't even seen him in a long time in the last 2 rounds.
I mean, theoretically, it was a great move by Samsung Khan, unpredictable, and also rOrO was doing fantastic in ZvZ, but you know, the what-if scenario, what if our sniper doesn't work out against ZvZ? That just happened to Samsung Khan, and they have more questions to solve now because they're only down to 2 players.
I do. And rOrO, he did play pretty good that game. I loved all of the constant run-bys and harassments, but kind of similar to the first game, he was just a little bit farther behind in economy throughout the entire match, and that didn't, and just that eventually spelled his doom. And we're seeing John B being sent out as the 3rd player for Samsung Khan on Belshir Vestige. Thoughts?
I don't know, man. This is not one of his best matchups. His best matchup has to be PBT. PPC only 3-4. The map doesn't work out for him because it is Belshir Vestige, but if his condition is as good as ZvZ and ZvP today, then he's going to wreak havoc against Zhongbi.
Indeed, completely agree with you. Okay, guys, we're going to go into a quick commercial break. When we get back, set 3 between Zhongbi and ZvZ.